You know when Al-Muhajirin went from Mecca to Al-Medina and they left everything behind, all their worldly possessions. When they got there, the Prophet ﷺ, he paired Al-Muhajirin with Al-Ansar from Medina. And one of the Muhajirin, that is one of the Sahaba of the Prophet ﷺ, that is Abdurrahman ibn Auf, radiallahu anh, was paired with another Sahabi. And because he left everything behind, all his worldly possessions, and mind you, he was a wealthy man, okay? He was wealthy. This Sahabi, Sa'd ibn Rabi', he said, I'm going to give you half of my wealth. But whatever I have, I'm going to give you half of it. Just imagine for a second, like somebody comes to you, another Muslim, and he's a muhajir, and then you tell him, you know what, I'm going to give you half of whatever I have. Everything. Half of it. If I worked for it my whole life, just take half. And he even offered him a wife. So he basically like set him for life. Not just kickstart his life, but he set his life. Like he has half his wealth, he has now money, he has a wife. Like, what else does he need? And so the Sahabi Abdurrahman ibn Auf, he said, well, he refused. Here we have his famous quote where he said, "May Allah bless your wealth and your family. Show me the way to the market. بارك الله لك في مالك وأهلك دلني على السوق." Which is insane. So the first thing that he thought of is the market, right? Because that's where business is, that's where you can find work, that's what you do. And if you think about it, if you try to reflect this on real life, it's insane, because remember, he's a wealthy man. He had wealth. He built wealth before, and now I guess he's going to do it again. And I'm going to give you some lessons, some valuable lessons. Everyone that has a small business, big business, who is thinking of starting a small business, we can all learn from these lessons. Start small. Start with dignity. Start with self-reliance. Genuinely, if you're thinking about it, or if you want to start a business and you think, oh my God, I need so much of this material, I need this machine, I need this and that to start, well, you can just make a few pieces, for example, of a product and then start selling. That's totally fine. You can start small, you know? Again, he was a wealthy man, he was rich, and he went to the market, and it was said that he started with selling dates. Can you imagine? From that much wealth to selling dates. Of course, you know, they were humble men, and again, mind you, he was one of the 10 people that were promised Jannah by the Prophet ﷺ. So you can imagine his character, right? Great human being. However, it is okay to start small. You don't have to compare yourself with any other business. You don't have to compare yourself with what other people achieved. You just have to start yourself. The 2, trustworthiness builds your brand. I mean, we can see now in a world of social media and e-commerce, we see a lot of products, we see a lot of ads, and we see a lot of pages selling things. And so if you're truly honest with your product or your service, and honest with the people, honest with what you will deliver to them, then this will skyrocket, this will build your community, and this will build your brand, and people will come back to you again and again because you're honest, because you're trustworthy. I mean, it's very frustrating when I'm really waiting for something to come, like I order something and I'm waiting for it, and then it's not to say it's completely different from the product I've seen in the video or the picture they've shown, but it's very different, and you're frustrated. And I would never come back to them. I would never buy from them again because they're just not trustworthy. So number 2, if you want to really build a brand, trustworthiness and honesty, remember. Number 3, which is very important with anything you do in life, and that is consistency. I mean, how do you think that this Sahabi radiallahu anhu went from selling dates to being very wealthy again. You know, you start small, it's fine, but what makes you go big is consistency. And even when it's hard, it's about showing up every single day. Even when it's hard to see the results or measure them and you feel a little bit discouraged, consistency is always key to build anything. Therefore, be ambitious, but stay detached. How? By giving, by charity, by being generous to people, because money has to be a tool and not chains around you. So whenever you get some money and you're excited about it, oh my God, I'm starting to, getting richer and having wealth, that's when you start to worry a little bit and you start to set rules for yourself when it comes to generosity, when it comes to giving to charity, when it comes to giving money to the needy. And the Sahabi Abdurrahman Mu'afir radiallahu anhu was very known by being very generous and by giving, and he always gives his wealth away and it always grows back again, which is insane, but also not insane, because if you share, your wealth multiplies. Trust me. Always give money. Never say, I'm like, oh my God, but I don't have that much now. What if I need it? Trust me, it will come back to you tenfold. So again, be ambitious, but stay detached. Do not let money chain you. Money is supposed to be a tool. And the last one, and number 5, you can always start again. Just like the Sahabi radiallahu anhu, when he came to Al-Medina and he had nothing, he left everything behind, and he started by just selling dates. He rebuilt his wealth. So if you've tried something before and it didn't work and you're like hesitant or scared, you can build again. Or if you built a business and then it failed somehow, it's not really a failure, it's just a lesson. You learned from it. قدر الله ما شاء فعل. Truly, you can build it again if you want that, or you can start something new. So never fear start it again. Honestly, it's just think about it as a new adventure. It's like a fresh new start, which is what we need sometimes. Yeah. And this is what I have to share with you today. Please reflect upon them. This is kind of, when they want to share with you, like on the internet, they tell, this is the blueprint on how to build your business. This is like blah, 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 blah. You can use my method and it's guaranteed to work. I mean, we have someone who was promised Jannah by the Prophet ﷺ. So you can just imagine his character. And we have lessons from him, and he built wealth and businesses, and he made a trade, and we can learn from him. This is the real blueprint. This is the real traits and mindset that we need to follow to build our businesses. So, just sit down for a moment and think about it. And this is all I have to share with you today. Honestly, I know that the camera is not the best. It's not the best quality, but you know what? It is what it is. So take care of yourselves, and Assalamu alaikum. This Algerian heat is insane. How do you deal? What are your tips? What can we do? I mean, you cannot have your AC running 24/7. That's if you're blessed with having an AC. What can we do? Is the answer patience? Just patience. Be patient, and the heat will just go away. Oh well.